Hey, what's good, guys? So, yesterday the Video Game Awards wrapped up, and right at the end, there was some big news regarding Alan Wake 2. That's right, we finally got a teaser trailer, and, some of you might have watched my Alan Wake remastered review, which you can find a link to. Uh, yeah, you can see it on the screen there. And in that remaster review, I kind of theorized that we might be getting some news about Alan Wake 2. So this is obviously huge, and I wanted to talk about it. But first, let's thank my favorite iced tea over here, Steez, for once again not sponsoring this video. But hey, you guys know like six a day of these. Okay, so if you guys want to if you guys want to sponsor something, hit me up. Yeah. Um, Now that we got that out of the way, let's check out this whole presentation, this quick trailer, and let's talk about it. Okay, so right from the beginning here, we can see that this looks like the setting of the original Alan Wake. This is probably somewhere in the forest outside of Bright Falls, I would assume, which nothing wrong with that. It's nice to see them going back to that for the sequel as opposed to sort of continuing that Alan Wake is trapped somewhere in the whatever the building from Control is called. Real quick here, it looks like we got a dead body here, an actual corpse, and not one of the taken, haunted shadow people things from the original game. And right there in the center, kind of looks like that could be a taken, or that could be Alan Wake. If we just like zoomed in and took maybe this tiny square of this image here, then we kind of get the title screen of the original Alan Wake. But let's continue. Okay, that is a nice transition here. Um, Not sure exactly what this is supposed to be, the setting here. Um, yeah, let's continue. Oh, there we still see that character in the middle there. Kind of seems like that might be Alan Wake. It might be him speaking to us, and so this is just him changing the story, maybe. Looks great though. Mm-hmm. Bright Falls. Real quick, this is like I think the third time that I'm watching this trailer. I did not notice these balloons right here. I guess that suggests, well, to me, it suggests that something's going on in Bright Falls. Maybe some sort of celebration, like in the original Alan Wake, where they had that deer hunting festival. Hmm. Yeah. So transitions back to this. Okay, so I don't know why it took me three watch throughs of the trailer to realize that of course it was Alan Wake the whole time in the center. But real quick here, the transition between Bright Falls and whatever this new area is supposed to be is really interesting. I'm wondering if this is also Bright Falls, but in a different time period, or maybe Bright Falls rewritten into a different genre, if that makes sense. The original Alan Wake really seemed like it was this right here. Oh well, let's see where was this? Where's a good image? Oh yeah, yeah. The original Bright Falls, right? Very sort of 70s. It's very Twin Peaks reminiscent, right? Whereas once this transitions in a few seconds here, right there, now this reminds me of like a modern sort of Gotham, maybe like whatever that level from Metal Gear Solid 4 was in France, I think. That kind of totally different like vibe to the setting. Um, and real quick, as well over here, we see this like bridge, overpass, maybe railroad thing, um, in this version of what I'm assuming is Bright Falls, which disappears, I believe, when we, yep, disappears. And so obviously this doesn't seem to be the exact same spot in Bright Falls as from the other version, but there are no like layered roads or overpasses or anything in Bright Falls. So I'm wondering from just this if maybe you're going to have the ability as Alan Wake, because he's been in the darkness for so long, maybe he grew more powerful. Now when he writes something into a story, into the story, it's not only people and people and NPCs, characters, whatever that he's manipulating, but also actual objects in the world, which would make sense. That's an obvious progression if you can already manipulate people and their emotions. Why would he not be able to, for example, write a bridge into existence, literally, where that's going to be some sort of puzzle, not puzzle solving element, but platforming element, to where you have the ability to write actual objects into existence to progress, which I think that would be amazing. I'm probably getting way ahead of myself, and it's probably not going to be a feature at all based on what we're going to hear from Sam Lake in a few minutes. But I'm hopeful. So, just on that, there, I'm really not sure how to react to that, how to feel about that. It's not really a jump scare for me because I mean the title screen for the video is that bloodied up Alan Wake face. So I knew it was coming. But I don't know. I just don't know where this fits in into the narrative, and what exactly what exactly it's supposed to represent. This whole, I guess, new look for Alan Wake as well, because this totally looks different than the already remade Alan Wake for the remaster. So like here he's like Keanu Wake or something, I don't know, and then 2 seconds later, also what is that he's holding? Like that's cool. That's a cool light device there, but like what is this? This is like steampunk now. I mean that literally looks like a flashlight invented by Tesla, being held by Keanu Reeves playing Alan Wake. Oh man, my horrible internet connection there. I want to see that face again. Let's see this. Okay, okay, that's very brief. Um, that might be Alan Wake possessed by the darkness, which we sort of saw at the end of the original Alan Wake. Could be interesting. I'd love to see what they do with that. If you lose control of your character, if maybe there's some RPG elements where Jesse Faden from Control comes in and has to, like, bring Alan Wake back, like he was begging her in the AWE expansion for Control. Um, yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. Okay, should have been talking about that. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So 2023, not exactly the date that I predicted, but it's at least the date. Whenever it is, I'm honestly assuming based on the fact that that entire trailer that we just watched was CGI, that was not in-game footage, which is kind of disappointing. I would have hoped they'd have something, especially since it's only like a 20-second clip. If they can manage that in-game, that would be amazing. I would love to see that. I'm not gonna count Remedy out because they can do a really good job with certain games, but we'll see. We'll see. 2 years down the line, I don't know if we can go from no footage, no in-game footage to what we just saw, CGI quality, uh, within 2 years. Let's say three. Let's say it's like it comes out end of 2023. Not really hopeful, but maybe. And let's take a look here quickly, what it's coming out on. Obviously, well, sort of obviously, no Switch version. I don't think the Switch would even come close to doing this game justice graphically, if it's anything as good as this trailer looked. Obviously, Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5. So no last gen system. So if you have a PS4, yeah, you're gonna have to upgrade, unfortunately, or get it on the Epic Game Store for PC. It's not going to be on Steam as the original Alan Wake was. Unfortunate, but I get it. Remedy has a publishing deal with Epic Games. Let's keep going. A nice little teaser website too. Okay.
Gotcha. All right, I'm joined by my man Sam.
Yeah, it really
Lake.
got me.
Sam, thank you coming all the way over from Finland for this. This is so exciting.
Talking about Finland, okay? If Poets of the Fall, which isn't even a real band, but or no, actually they're real. Old Gods of Asgard are not real. If Poets of the Fall have some songs for the soundtrack of this game, I'm sold immediately.
Alan Wake 2, it's been a decade. Fans have been asking you for it. Why is now the right time to bring him back?
Well, Jeff, first of all, I want to say apologies. It's been raining here in Los Angeles today.
Yeah, corny Scandinavian joke, okay.
Fiction leaking out into reality, so sorry. Anyway, yeah, 10 years, over 10 years. Wanting to make this, dreaming of making it, we've been iterating on the concept, and we know fans have been asking for it. We've been a bit protective. We knew this is going to be a pretty scary experience. Now we are convinced everybody is ready. You are ready.
Yeah, because they weren't convinced anybody was ready when fans of the original were begging them for a sequel like 9 years ago. But,
What kind of game are we going to get for the sequel? Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, we are breaking new ground here. This is going to be Remedy's first ever survival horror game.
You know what? I'm gonna let him finish.
Our take on the genre.
Yeah.
The first game had horror elements to it, but it was an action game.
Yeah.
And we feel that this is the perfect genre to bring together the story and gameplay closer than ever before. Because the story, horror story, is at the very heart of this, and it's psychological, layered, deep mystery to dive into.
Okay, so I like the psychological element, psychological thriller. I think there's a fine line between horror and psychological thriller, which Alan Wake walked perfectly. We've seen this in some of their other games, namely Control. I can't really speak much about Quantum Break, or whatever else they had between Alan Wake and Control, because I didn't play any of those. Huge fan of both Alan Wake and Control. Both sort of fit into a psychological thriller, kind of alternate horror genre, I would say. Especially with Control, which focuses on liminal spaces, which basically, if you don't know what those are spaces that are empty but would normally be inhabited and thus make you feel uneasy when they are empty. Like the massive building, or the massive offices of the name of that building from Control just keeps escaping me. But yeah, they're like empty, and so that makes you feel uneasy. It's a thing some people experience. Point is, they've done horror well without actually turning games into horror games. This is kind of concerning for me because I'm not into horror games. Psychological thriller, like I said, fine line there between that and horror. There's some jump scares in Alan Wake, fewer in Control, but they make you think, they make you kind of feel uneasy. It's a great design to the world, design to the storytelling. Now, if they're going purely into horror, survival, that sort of thing, I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to work and how much I would really want to play Alan Wake 2 if that's what it comes down to.
You are such an incredible visionary. I can't wait to see what you're doing with this game. I know you said to me a while ago this was your dream project, and I'm so honored that we got to announce this here at the Game Awards. So we're going to hear more next year, I think, right?
Yes, we, fitting to the theme.
Yes.
We're gonna go dark for a while to work on this.
Yeah.
We'll be back next year, summertime.
Check the receipts. I also called this in the remaster review. Makes sense because the remaster and this information came out basically late fall, early winter, so I wasn't expecting anything until like summer of next year. But yeah, hopefully we'll have more information from then on Alan Wake 2 rather than just like a 20-second long CGI trailer.
Show more.
All right, summer 2022, more on Alan Wake 2. Sam, thank you so much for that announcement.
Thank you.
Very exciting. All right. Well, now I'd like...
Okay, so a lot to unpack there. My biggest concern here is this whole thing that he spoke about, how they weren't ready or something like that, but that they've been working on this diligently for like the past decade almost. And this might not have been in that video. I'm going to try and find that article where I read this. This was from Sam Lake talking to a PlayStation magazine, blog, something like that. I'll put that in the video description for your reference if you guys want to check that out. But basically, I don't buy that. Thing is, he says how they had an idea that right after Max Payne, when they started working on Alan Wake, they knew that they're eventually going to want to do a sequel. And so, like, that was right there from the beginning in the back of their minds. And that was a major focus. And that they've been kind of brainstorming and fleshing it out ever since then. So, first problem with that I see is that after Alan Wake, they had American Nightmare, which was sort of like a half-assed sequel standalone thing that they're kind of not really proud of. It didn't do well critically. Fans didn't seem to love it either. And it's sort of like they're trying to sweep it under the rug, even with the remaster going as far as not having that at all. So that kind of seems like a misstep. Like at that point, and that would have already been 2 years after the release of Alan Wake, so 2014, they weren't really planning on doing a sequel, it would seem like, based on that, right? Then the other thing is, if they've been working on this for about 10 years, like he sort of says that they have been, then how is it that, 10 years later, obviously, we don't have any actual footage, like in-game footage of the project? It's all CGI, and not even that it's all CGI, it's like a 20-second, like 30-second trailer that's all CGI, and it's like, yo, I'm Alan Wake, we're doing this again. Like, doesn't really tell you much. I mean, we tried to go into depth there, analyzing it, but how, there's only so much you can analyze of something so short with so little content shown. So I don't know. Take that for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm just speculating here on that, but I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes for sure with why this game is only now coming into its own, and I don't believe it's been in production for. I mean, it might have just gone into production this year or last year when they first alluded to it. So, like a 4-year production cycle, I could see Remedy pulling that off. More likely than not, like 5-6 years, which is why I'm thinking, they probably already did some brainstorming, like maybe 2017, 2018, and it's probably going to come out sometime late 2023, which, no problem there as long as it's a good continuation of the story and it does does justice by the fans. Now, speaking of the fans, on my last point here, somewhere else, Sam Lake, he alluded to the fact that you can enjoy Alan Wake 2 fully without having played either Alan Wake or Control, which that's great, but it's kind of doing a disservice to the fans of Alan Wake, who are the people originally clamoring for an Alan Wake 2. So, like, there's kind of a disconnect there where it should be more focused on what the fans really, really wanted and not just Easter eggs in Alan Wake 2 for hardcore fans. Like, I'm not saying fan service, right? But a little bit of fan service for the fans, And I'm talking like, like just listen to the fans, not what most people assume when we talk about fan service. So, that's kind of not hitting the right buttons for me either. But yeah. Now, final note for sure. This is supposed to be part of the Remedy Connected Universe. I don't know about Quantum Break, whatever other game was there, being part of that. I just know that Alan Wake, Control are in this universe, right? I would love to see how they mix that in, because I love both of those settings, as I've said before, and I think expanding on those two worlds would be amazing, because Control was great for what it was, but it reused a lot of textures, had similar room designs. It made you feel like it was much bigger and on a bigger scale than it actually was. And similar with Alan Wake, it did a lot of it used a lot of smoke and mirrors, literally, right? Like there was fog to cover up the edges of the playable area to make you feel like there's more to the world than there actually was. So I don't want any more of this like illusion, sort of manipulation of the scenery to make you feel like you're in a more expansive world than it actually is. Like, make it happen. Like, you have the means to do it, you have the resources, and you have all the time in the world. This game has literally been a thing that people have been speculating about for the past decade. So Remedy, make it happen. And yeah, that's about it. I'm looking forward to the summer of 2023 when we get some more news, maybe some actual concrete news on Alan Wake 2. And yeah, I'm not saying this is going to become an Alan Wake 2 hype channel, but you better believe that every time there's something about Alan Wake 2, I'm going to be making a video about it. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Subs and likes, it's what I'm about. You already know that. It really helps me out on a serious note, and it really keeps me motivated to keep making these. And really, it helps me curate the content that the subs that I do have want to actually watch and see. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace!